Hello, my name is Tyler DeWitt, president of DeWitt's Media Incorporated. So I'm going to go over my speaker deck. The main part that I'm going to cover is Google Search Network Insights. I'm not going to cover the entire deck. I actually spoke for DigiMarcon, Small Business University, Small Business Expo, and I spoke in multiple cities, Los Angeles, Austin, San Diego, San Francisco, and a few others. So we're just going to cover the Google Search Network Insights section. So anytime you launch a campaign, you want to separate your display from search. So separate display and search. Launch the search network without the display network. And the reason being is because display converts at a different rate than search. And you also want a more granular view on the display and search. You want to have a campaign set up for display and a campaign set up for search. Separate those. So what is a Google display ad? If you look here in the top right, you'll see where you can see the Google display ads. And I think I got this screenshot from eHow or maybe healthline.com. I can't recall the site I got it from. So you'll see I have a little box there, the arrow pointing into the Google display ad, brand logo there. So those are display ads, and they come in all sizes, 300 by 250, 300 by 300. They have multiple sizes. So launch search without search partners. And that's another thing that will kill your conversion rates, is launching, search partners with the search network, with the Google Search Network. And the reason being is because search partners convert at a lower rate. Keep search partners off for at least a month. Don't enable until you hit your KPIs. Once you hit your KPIs, you can then test. So basically what you want to do is set up your search campaign, run it without the search partners, give it a month, 2 months, 3 months. I would say probably if you feel that your campaign's doing pretty well within a month or two, then you can go and enable the search partners and compare that data. The problem is today, you can't really set up a campaign targeting search partners and a campaign targeting Google Search Network directly. So let's talk about what search partner websites are. So you have Lycos, Ask, Dogpile, and BizRate. So these are all more than less third-party search engines that are syndicating Google's results. So if you go to ask.com and you type in like dog training, you're going to see the same results from Google as what you would go into the Google directly. The issue is with Ask, Lycos, and all these search partner websites is that they convert at a lot lower rate. And this could be for 100 different reasons. What I believe that it is, or what I'm pretty confident on why they convert so low, is because Ask Lycos is getting other traffic from all these other sites that are sending into their search engine. Say someone's out there in La La Land looking something up on dog training. Well, they click on an ad that says dog training. Well, then they get taken to Ask that shows a listing of ads for dog training. So as you see, this user's been navigating for a long time. And they're just out there kind of just scoping things out. Doesn't really, usually these people don't really want to buy, We used to call it arbitrage in the old days. And what that means is you buy search traffic or you buy traffic on from another website. You place your ads on there and then you send them to another site and hope that they would click on a new ad and you would profit off of that. So say, for example, site A, you bought an ad off of it, and you was paying 1 cent a click. But on site B, where you take the visitor to, you have more ads on that page, and you're making 10 cents a click. So your goal is to buy off site A for 1 cent a click, then hopefully they'll click on site B at 10 cents a click. If that makes any sense. We used to call that arbitrage. So let's focus on this area. Quality traffic. This is where the money comes from. So this is where all the high intent visitors are. Google sends the highest qualified traffic out there. I mean, more than less, because people that go to Google tend to find what they are looking for, and for the most part, they trust it, especially with all the reviews are kicking in and everything else. So you definitely want to be in this part. So your conversion goal settings on your campaign, always make sure you enable this because you're going to need it. Set it up. If it's for sales, then your goal should be set to sales. If it's leads, then it should be set to leads. If it's for phone calls, then set it for phone calls. Target the right one and make sure your conversion goal settings are set up. Believe it or not, we've had many advertisers that come to us and then they'll, their campaign objective is set to sales, leads, phone calls. And I'll ask them, what's your campaign objective? We want sales. You don't want phone calls? They're like, well, we prefer them to order through the website versus them calling in. So if you just want to focus on the sales, the e-commerce sales, or whatever it may be, then make sure your conversion goal is set up for sales. Because when you enable the automated bidding through Google, it's taking all of this data into, factoring the data up from based on what your conversion goal settings are. Therefore, it can target the right users at the right time. Ad rotation settings. Should you turn it off or on? We usually keep them off at first, depending on if we're A/B testing ads. Nowadays, they're using the responsive display ads versus the expanded text ads and the original ads. They did away with the ETAs, expanded text ads, and now they're using responsive search ads. And the reason they're using responsive search ads is because a big majority of people were not testing. And if I recall right, I think it was like over 70% of brands were not testing like they should. So what Google did is they kicked in these RSAs, responsive search ads. And now they're requiring everybody to use these ads because you have to insert multiple titles, multiple descriptions. You're basically forced to enter the titles, like 3 or more titles, 3 or more description. I can't recall the exact count off the top of my head. I think it's 3. But anyways, so they're requiring advertisers to use these ads because they convert better or because they'll automatically optimize. So people are basically being forced to A/B test nowadays. There's upside to that and downside to that. If you still want to use the original strategy, you still can, and we do, and that's when we set this to do not optimize. We'll set up 2 RSAs, responsive search ads, and we'll see which one converts better. Bid settings for high ROAS, return on ad spend. Use this process if you're looking for a high ROAS. Start with manual CPC. Your campaign should always start with manual CPC so Google has some data. Then you can move into enhanced CPC because Google can make a better decision based off the manual CPC data. Then you can move into automation if you want. I would wait a good month or so until you switch into fully automation. Depending on how many products you have, it could be 3 or 4 months. But you want to start manual CPC so you can really drive as many clicks as possible and many visitors as possible, even if you're breaking even or maybe losing a little bit of money. So when you kick that automation, and Google will have all that data from the previous month or 3 months, however long, and they'll be able to make the best decision for you for all those products or your whatever it is that you're doing. And this applies to leads, everything. And if automation is not working, you can always go back to manual bidding. Some people like manual bidding. If you only got like 50, 100 products, then go back to manual bidding. If you want to sit there and manually optimize them, go for it. So bid setting for your brand. This is how you will set your bid settings up if you're looking to brand your products or services. Use this process. Maximize clicks, maximize impressions. And what that's going to do, that's going to send you as many clicks and impressions as possible. It's not going to be really focused on conversion, but it's more focused on getting exposure to your brand or products or services, whatever that you're offering. Drop mobile bids. This is key. Another key element in the campaigns. Mobile bids should always be set 30 to 50% less than desktop under the device section. And the reason you do this for is because mobile bids convert lower. or mobiles convert lower, I should say. 10, 15 years ago, everybody used desktop, so we didn't really have to worry about mobile. In fact, when mobile phones started coming out and all this 3G and more people started using mobile phones to search the internet, 10, 15 years ago, we used to turn mobile off totally because it converted just awfully low. It was like pointless to even have on. That's how bad it was. So we just excluded mobile from our campaigns, and we always focused on the traffic that sent the highest quality traffic. But a lot has changed over the years. People are getting comfortable to buy on their mobile. Websites are becoming optimized for mobile. 10, 15 years ago, websites were not optimized for mobile. You'd have to kind of like zoom in, zoom out, and try to find your way through. Then usually people would go back to a desktop and make an order after they've seen your site. So a lot has changed. But today, you always want to set, mobile maybe 30 to 50% lower. Because generally speaking, mobile will convert like at 1% and 2% e-commerce. There's like a big gap there. If you're seeing like an 8% on desktop, you're probably going to see like a 4% on mobile. So clearly you can't pay as much for your mobile clicks as what you can your desktop clicks. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Expanded text ads are gone on June 30th. And as mentioned, this was the speaking deck that I used to speak with, and I was actually speaking before June 30th. So, and I want to cover this. What is the ad strength? So when you start creating responsive search ads, RSAs, and if you're currently creating them, you're going to be assigned an ad strength. And Google rates your ad by how many headlines and descriptions you have in place. So you can have up to 15 headlines and up to 4 descriptions. Now I want you to keep in mind, just because it says your ad strength is good, does not necessarily mean that your ad strength is good. Even if it says average, whatever it says, it's not going to have any effect on how much you're going to pay on average for your cost per click or whatever it may be. Now, if your quality scores are low, then yes, that will have a direct impact on your average cost per click. But the reason they're setting ad strength up is to get people saying, oh, my ads average or good, whatever. So it motivates people into adding more headlines. That way Google has more headlines to test, more descriptions to test. And that, like I said earlier, that's why they created these RSAs, responsive search ads, because a big majority of advertisers were not A/B testing with the expanded text ads and the original text ads. So build high converting RSAs. What is the ad strength? Google rates your ad by how many headlines and descriptions you have in place, as I just mentioned. So keep in mind, if your ad strength's saying good, don't sweat it. If you want to A/B test your RSA ads, go for it. Create 2 RSA ads, and if they both say good, don't worry about the good. It's not going to have a direct impact on how much you pay. It's not a keyword quality score or a landing page quality score. As mentioned earlier, a landing page and a keyword quality score will have a direct impact on your average CPC. Keyword match set. So you want to always use like 1 to 2 keywords per ad group using the match types. So basically, for example, this is an example, Cuisinart food processor parts. So we have a phrase match in that ad group and an exact match. And the reason being for is because exact match keywords convert better than a phrase match. Phrase match tend to convert a little bit lower. So we assign the bids according to how they're converting. So if phrase match is only converting at, let's say, 1% per 100 visitors, then we'll set that at like 50 cents. I'm just using this as an example. If exact match is converting at 2% per 100 visitors, then we'll set that at $1 per click. And keep your ad groups highly relevant too. As you can see on this screenshot, Cuisinart food processor part, Cuisinart DLC 7 parts, Cuisinart DLC 8 parts. In every one of those ad groups, that's the exact keyword that we have. Set up category ad groups. So here's another example. Test all your categories. For example, Nike shoes, Reebok shoes, New Balance shoes, men's shoes, women's shoes. And this is another example, a screenshot of an account which I can't go into the advertiser's name, but I can show the brands. Sims Waders, Redington Fly Rods, Orvis Fly Rods, G. Loomis Fly Rods, Scott Fly Rods. So as you can see, we have an ad group for each keyword or category on the site. A lot of times people are so worried about running the Google Shopping Network, excuse me, and targeting Google products directly. But there's high value in setting up brand-related categories. So you can set up a category like Nike shoes. Let's say you sell Nike shoes. Set up a category page, which you probably have, most people do. Set up a category of Nike shoes. Then set up an ad group. Create a campaign in Google Ads called like categories. Then under that categories campaign, create ad groups like Nike shoes ad groups, Reebok shoes ad group, New Balance shoes ad group, and start creating relevant ad groups and sending that traffic into the most relevant categories. So Nike shoes would go into a Nike category. Reebok shoes would go into a Reebok category. And you need an individual ad group for every single one of these keywords with a highly relevant ad. So make sure that in your ad you see Nike shoes in the ad, in the headline description. That way you're increasing your CTR, click-through rate. Google recommendations. Use good common sense when applying recommendations. A lot of times people will go into Google and they'll just start firing away with Google recommendations. They'll apply. You don't have to apply every single recommendation. Use good common sense. Look at the recommendation and say, hey, look, do I need to apply this? If you're not sure, do not apply it, especially if your account's performing well. And I say this because I have a doctor in Beverly Hills that was providing PPC consulting management for it. She went through there and started applying every single recommendations, and the account just went totally, basically more or less screwed the thing up. So we had to re-optimize the whole entire account again and fix and go back through there and basically redo everything. You don't always need to apply Google recommendations. The reasons Google's showing you these recommendations just give you some insight on maybe what needs to be done. Don't take it literal. Don't think, well, Google's recommending it, I need to apply it, Just like you shouldn't let Tesla drive, or you shouldn't trust Tesla to drive for you. So don't forget to test dynamic search ads. I come across so many clients still today that are not testing dynamic search ads. We have clients spending $5,000 making $20,000, and some even spending $10,000 making $40,000+ through dynamic search ads. You need to test dynamic search ads. Just don't leave it out there in la la land and think, well, it's not going to work. They will work if you test them, if you set them up right, more than likely. And the good thing is with when you're testing dynamic search ads, you can set an ad targeting option where you can target a specific page that has specific keywords. So say, for example, you want to target a page that has Nike shoes. What you'll do is set a target title for Nike. Then in the URL structure, it should include Nike. Then also you want to add another option that says if page content has like this following word, out of stock. And what will happen when you set that up, that targeting option, those 3 targeting options, it will target all your product pages that are Nike related. Just make sure you exclude your categories and collections. And you'll see it. You'll know what I'm talking about when you get in there to set up a dynamic search ad campaign. Most important landing page elements. So we got the header, story or copy, social proof, testimonials, reviews, unique selling proposition, which is USP. So you want to make sure that your header is catchy. And this is mainly more focused on forms or people that are interested in generating leads or phone calls. But it can, actually this is important for people selling products too, like on a single product page. You want to make sure that you have a catchy header, something that will pull them in and get them to read your copy. Story or copy, however you got the page set up. And then social proof would be like endorsements, recommendations, testimonials, video testimonials, written testimonials, third-party approval from other, if you're a speaker or you attend the local lodge or whatever it may be, you know, your BBB ratings are A plus, excuse me, put all that stuff on there. Your unique selling propositions is basically, you know, what makes your product unique? What are the benefits and the features of your product? You know, how is it going to benefit your customer, client, or whatever it may be? And you should always A/B test those landing pages too. That's another thing we see a lot of people failing at too, not A/B testing, you know, split testing, A/B testing landing pages. Other landing page elements: layout and design, eye-catching imagery and media, keep it relevant, a strong CTA, call to action, story and copy links, short form versus long form. Now let's go over these. Layout and design, it's not a huge factor, but there again, people's not going to buy from you if your site looks like a junkyard. There again, depends on what you're selling, right? Eye-catching imagery and media, that could fall in the category of social proof. If you're out there getting your pictures with your clients, or you got some media, video testimonials, put it on there. Keep it relevant. Everything on that landing page should be relevant. Don't go off to la la land, start trying to sell something else that's not even relevant for what they're searching for. A strong CTA, a call to action, would be like, are you looking for Nike shoes? Yeah, usually a call to action is something that drives into action. Let's say, or actually a better one would be, order now and save 15%. And you can do a quick search on Google to get an idea of, you know, call to action phrases that you can use. Story and copy link. Now this can be tricky, and this is why you need to split test your landing pages. You can use a long story, short story, long copy, short copy. Sometimes 500 words good, other times you might want 1,500 words. Then you got a short form versus long form. I understand that you got to qualify your people, but you also need to keep in mind that the longer that you make that form, it drastically has a negative effect on your conversion rates. Try to use a short form if you can, especially if the only thing you need is an email address. You don't need to ask them 100 other questions. Bad landing page headers. Learn how I lost weight, learn how I grew muscle, learn how we helped ABC company grow. Those are terrible. Who cares? They're mediocre at their best. So here's an example of great landing page headers. Learn how I lost 12 pounds in under 6 weeks. Learn how I put on 10 pounds of muscle in under 6 months. 300% growth for ABC company under 1 year. The secret sauce to 10x your traffic in 1 year. Bam, bam. That's what people want to hear. That's what they want to know. They want to hear. They want to see those numbers wrapped in there. They want to know the results. So many people talk about, well, I worked with ABC company. I did this with ABC company. Okay. What was the end result? Did you increase their sales? Did you help them improve their return on an investment? You know, or a trainer could be like, hey, I trained this person. And, you know, I mean, clearly the person has to be just as motivated too when we're talking about this. But either way, if it's selling a supplement, whatever, you know, it may be, people need to see the results. They want to hear the results. What are typical or average results that people receive from your services, your products, or whatever it may be? Use a swipe file. There's a ton of swipe files online. Use swipefile.com or swipe.co for a reference. You can also use your competitors as a reference and change it up. Swipefile.com has a huge list of, you know, and swipe.co has a huge list of, you know, landing pages, headers, and all kinds of stuff that you can use for a reference. And you can just kind of change it up and put it into your industry. You know, just be creative. So your landing page testing, always one ad per landing page, collect 300 to 500 clicks, turn off automatic ad rotation, split traffic evenly. You want to make sure that traffic's balancing out because people convert differently at night and day. So you don't want all your traffic accidentally going into one page during the day, then a portion of it going into it at night. So you want to make sure that traffic's being evenly spread out. And once again, turn off the automatic too fast, turn off the automatic ad rotation. collect 300 to 500 clicks. You know, we used to say 10 years ago, 100 clicks, that was good. But to be sure, I would recommend 300 to 500 clicks, because sometimes people convert better on Monday. Other days they might convert higher. The more data you can get, the better. But there again, you just got to kind of, use your common sense and look at it. One ad per landing page, so you want one ad per landing page, especially if you're setting up a Google ad, your responsive search ad. Just duplicate them, copy, paste, That's what we do, copy the original ad, then we'll paste it into the new one and see which one performs the best. So here's your landing page quality scores. Click through, and here are some of the factors that on what determine your quality score, which is click-through rate, keyword relevancy, bounce rates, 1 to 2 keywords per ad group, A/B test ads, A/B test landing page, and landing page speed. So click-through rate stands for CTR. And basically what that means is the more people click on your ad per 100 impressions, the better click-through rate you have. So say, for example, 100 people searched for the keyword dog training. 5 people clicked on your ads, 2 people clicked on your competitor ads. You have a 5% click-through rate. So clearly, Google is going to factor this in their landing page quality scores. Or actually, let's back up here. Landing page quality scores. So I was looking here at my deck, and I noticed that the keyword quality score is missing. Anyways, let's talk about landing page quality score, because you have landing page quality score and then you have keyword quality score. As you can see right here, we have quality score, then we have landing page. We have landing page experience. So let's talk about keyword quality score. So basically, as I mentioned earlier, click-through rate, then your keyword relevancy is how relevant your keyword is to your ad. And then your bounce rate side, they'll be factored in for landing page quality score. So if someone goes to your website and then they exit, they hit back real fast, and you have a really terrible bounce rate, a high bounce rate, people exiting your site within like 1 second, then that's not going to help your landing page quality score. 1 to 2 keywords per ad group. This will help boost your landing page experience and your keyword quality score, because the more relevant the keyword is to the ad, the more clicks you're going to drive, and also people are going to stay on your site longer, because chances are that landing page is highly relevant to that ad, or it should be anyways. Then you got the A/B test ads, as mentioned earlier. If you can A/B test the RSA ads, responsive search ads, your quality score will increase. A/B test landing pages and landing page speed. Now, I wouldn't stress too much about landing page speed, because if you go to Google Google Page Speed Test tool, you'll notice that a lot of people, like if you put your competitor's website in there, they'll come up with 100 things that needs to be fixed. And the reason being is because everybody's using Shopify and WooCommerce, and a lot of times they're adding a lot of unnecessary codes. And things that can slow down your landing page are too many WordPress plugins. If you start getting a lot of WordPress plugins or ones that have not been approved and you're just installing them and they're still active, it'll slow your site down. But there again, if you go into Google Ads and you look under there on the landing page experience and the keyword quality score, it says quality score, but it's actually keyword quality score. It's what that column's for. And as you can see on this account, they're all 10 out of 10 and above average. That's usually how all the accounts are that we work on, or we try to get them to that level anyways. So, key factors to remember: launch search without display network, use the right conversion goal settings, use a swipe file as a reference, test the dynamic search ads, building out a high converting landing pages for leads, thrive to have the best quality scores at keyword level, A/B test your ads nonstop, and build off successful ones. So that should be it. And once again, this was my speaking deck that I used for DigiMarcon, Small Business Expo, and Small Business University. Eventually, I will post the full search engine marketing masterclass in our educational center through our website. So that should be it. Thank you.